Oh, we'll make a start.
Okay.
So tonight's, I'm just doing a small introduction to Open Orienteering Mapper.
Yep.
This is the open source software which reads OCAD files and can write OCAD files as well as its own format. A bit like Open Office, if you ever use that. So I'll start sharing the screen.
Well, I downloaded it today and opened up an OCAD map.
Did it come up with error when you open the map up, Mark?
I'd have errors about certain colours.
Yeah, normally has a whinge about some things. I'd normally just go okay, and it all looks okay. And never
the map looks fine. It's the map I set on a Thursday over summer at Middle Mullum. Looks okay.
So the last two items there are called Template A4 Landscape and Template A4 Portrait. They're two OCAD, I'll call them maps, but they're not actually maps, which I've set up during COVID-19 as a way to harmonise all of the BK mapping. So what we did is we've been gradually geo-referencing some of the BK maps, especially the ones which are going to be used for MapRun, which means aligning them in space where they actually are. That's what geo-referencing means. So that
okay. So
it also sometimes means moving some of the roads around, and I'll show you how to geo-referencing a map later. And what I actually geo-reference is AR's own Dingley Village, so we'll be doing that tonight later on. But I'll open one of these templates. So I'll go for, say, the portrait. Now this is the template I've done for BK, but the only real difference you need to do is replace base.
So that's a template. Okay.
That's a template.
That's always the part I try and get rid of it. I can get rid of it, but I didn't realise it was in a template.
Yeah, no, that's that. We're trying to take that off all the maps.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the part I have to get rid of when I do a map.
So now we actually open this up as the map, and then we actually bring in the base map, which shouldn't have any of that crap on it anymore. So as part of georeferencing, ripping all this stuff off. So the base maps, and we'll open a template here. And the template I'm going to use is near and dear to us, the new Endeavour. Now we need to find out where that is in space. View, show whole map. Now it'll be the same problem, I think.
Well, if the template wipes out the map, then you know that it's the template.
Oh, there's the map.
There it is. Map. So the idea, that's just Mulgraves, that's a different map. So we can move that down. So the idea is that it shouldn't even have that star triangle on it, so that's incorrect. So that's...
There's two on it, in fact.
Got two on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it has. So the idea is that you move the template, because this bit is meant to be a geo-reference bit, you don't move that around.
Yeah.
And you move the template.
Resize the template to suit. Okay.
No, don't resize it, you move it.
Yeah.
And what that does, so say you want this part of the course.
Okay.
And you zoom in on that. What that does, you can see how it's blanking out the part of the map except for what you want.
Yeah.
If we look at that, it's now done that to it. Now, it was a better demonstrating on the Endeavour's map, because that's 3 maps combined, so it's a much bigger base map, and you can actually see the wide area all the way around. So now that you've chosen a bit of map which you want, and this is designed for 1 to 10,000, you can do this in any order. You can move the controls on anything which is at the map layer. You can't edit.
Can't change.
Okay.
But anything which is on this screen on the template is something you can edit. So we can probably move the event name on first, and just grab the edge of the bar to move it, and we can put that in there. And notice how I've already put the super white background in for all these text boxes and so forth. So you don't need to do any of that manual stuff yourself.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Not that I even knew how to do it anyway.
Just make sure you grab the right things. You put in various instructions, all the other
Stuff.
Unfortunately, they're covering the map though, Bruce.
Well, that would be
Yeah,
same
that's
as if it was
okay.
a bigger map.
Because basically you choose a bit of a map where you haven't set your course. So there's never going to be enough room if you've used this template. Oops. You can do Control Z with this one. You've got to make sure you don't select too much.
Yeah, that's always a bit fiddly in any of these sort of programs, getting just the bit you want.
That can go down the side there. There we go.
Yeah.
So you can also then move controls.
Can you rotate that 90 degrees if you want to?
No. I've got a separate template for doing the vertical. So there's an A4 landscape and an A4, because all this box I've done is all set up manually. And it's actually got that's actually a block of super white there and there and there. And that's how I've done the blanking out surrounds. So then when you want to print it out, you exclude with the template, and then you only choose this area. So any bits of a map which are around the outside
don't show up.
You just crop the area.
But if I wanted to rotate that all controls on that particular map, I can't do it.
No, you just bring it into. If you decide beforehand whether you're going to go vertical or horizontal, just choose.
No, let's say I want to go horizontal like it is at the moment.
Yes.
Then I have to leave the all controls notice vertical rather than make it horizontal.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah, that thing.
No, you can put that. You can rotate that, I suspect. Bear in mind, this is an aggregate. So it's not just, see, there's a text box, and a background, and all sorts of
box.
stuff. So you have to Control Z again. You've got to then
You have to select everything.
Just that stuff. I've already moved part of it out over there. It's quite tricky once you've moved it in.
You can always type it in yourself, Ewan. You can put a text box in and just type that in there.
Yeah, no, I was just asking.
Yeah, but the problem this text box has got backgrounds and stuff, Jack.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but if you're having trouble rotating it, you can always just type it manually.
I'd have to add it to the template though, rather.
So we can try and rotate this whole caboodle.
Yeah,
should be able to.
I mean, I guess it's not a big deal, but I just wondered.
Rotate objects. There you go.
Oh yeah. How does it come out?
Oh, that one didn't.
Not well.
I only rotated one object.
Yeah,
I obviously didn't select everything.
Where's the undo button?
Control Z.
Yeah, Control Z.
Is there an actual symbol for undo? No,
yeah, just Control Z.
What's that little black square up near the top on the right-hand side of that? What you've just highlighted? Down, just on above the C. What's that one?
Up.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, that's the movement for the text box.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought it might have been rotate or something.
It's a handle to grab hold of the text, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. R, I think it is, or Control R.
Anyway, we've wasted enough time on this at this stage, so let's progress.
Yes, you can rotate all that, and you can put it wherever you want.
Yeah.
With a bit of mucking around, but it might be easy to do another one.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm in rotate mode still.
Maybe in the template you could make a vertical and a horizontal version. Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
They're actually pretty easy to rotate. I assume it's just like OCAD.
Yes.
And perhaps it doesn't matter anyway. But
in fact, even the button's got a rotate button in the same place that OCAD 9 does.
You've used easy and OCAD at the same time.
Sorry, shouldn't have gone in the same sentence. I agree.
There's the handle for the number for the control. So we can just put control numbers in, and so forth. So that's how you put controls, and they've already got the dots in the middle. If you're doing a black and white map, you might want to have set the color, edit the symbol and set the color to black instead of blue.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
You're doing a black and white, yeah. So,
And
faded.
change it to,
We just got unlimited minutes.
Oh, good.
okay.
Do we did? Oh, good.
I noticed when I moved this in, it didn't, I must have missed the
The homing.
controls everywhere.
You
Keep
leave
on
the dot
forgetting.
behind.
Didn't put the Bayside Kangaroos. Yeah. So yeah, you can do the same of in your course descriptions or whatever. So I've got one there for both 25 controls and 20 controls, and then sometimes this is for
Power
points,
for
or
score
sometimes
courses.
for times. So you just choose the appropriate boxes, so they're not all in use every time. So basically, that's the template and how that works. And these triangles shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So which triangles?
Oh, the triangles which
Star
are on the
triangles.
base map.
Oh, yeah.
Triangles.
So
Can't
can
see
I
it
just
there.
clarify something though with this approach? Like,
Yes.
say I set all this up and then I go out and do a bit of site checking and I go, oh, there's a missing laneway between 1 and 3,
Yes.
and I want to
What
draw
you
it
do
in on
is
the
you
map,
would edit the base map.
and then I'd have to bring it in again, would I?
I think if you just open it up again, it will bring in the new one because it's referring to the other file all the time.
Oh, okay. So effectively, it's put a link there, so it'll sort
Yes.
of do a hot update. Maybe not
So
quite
when-
a hot
yeah, when
update,
I-
but
when
it'll
I
update.
mail-
Yeah, okay.
I mail this off to for geo-referencing to Vic, and I say this one's pretty close. Here's the template which I use for doing a geo-referencing. Here's the original map,
Yep.
which is already including a template. He saves them both in the same folder, and hey presto, it works.
Okay,
So
good.
it's
No, that's
very-
great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously, wouldn't we, if an ARDF event, we'd have our own ARDF thing there. That's about all I can show you on it, except for printing, I suppose.
If you save that, it saves it as it is, that as it looks, presumably.
Yes. So what you'd actually do is you don't save this as a template name. You would file, save as, or even I tend to try and rename the file before I open it to the
Yeah.
event which I'm actually setting.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
you
okay.
accidentally save it over the template.
Or when you open it, you save it save as, and then you've
And
still
as
got the
soon
original.
as you open it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and it'll, by default, it will save it in or open orienteering map format. So you have to actually change that to say OCAD 9, and we'll make it Mulgrave
Test or something.
or something, and it'll save that. That's normal.
Yeah.
I think there's even a start triangle for you to use just up there.
Yeah.
Grab that. These boxes you can resize if they're too big. And the other trick is if you don't want part of a map, you can just resize these surrounds
Surrounding.
rather
yes.
than doing your own. So you don't need to know even what super white is. You can just do that and
Do it.
now that.
And even have
is
a
blacked off.
funny shape or something.
Yeah, if you want to annoy Margie.
Yeah.
Shush.
So this is a printing part. When you print, do I already have that dialog box up somewhere? No, here we go. It's just taking its time. You have to select the custom area. How do we do that? I know on OCAD how to do it. And you need to select somewhere show templates, because otherwise it doesn't appear.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay, so it's a bit complicated to print.
Well, you just need to make sure the template comes in.
Yeah, well, it's
Make
not,
sure
not
there's
very
not another-
complicated, but Yeah,
It's not
you
bad.
just
There might be
It's
another
just-
template there, which might have been the original
I haven't
geo-reference.
used the template before. Just
yeah,
something
no,
else
it's
to
just
learn.
just just
But
another
this way
step
is
that I've
much
got to
easier
remember.
because you can't stuff up the map. You can't accidentally delete roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you're
Well,
editing is
every
the
time
template.
I've got one, it's always had controls on it, and I have to get rid of them all, and it's got other club's name on it, and I have to try and get rid of that, and that's where I really
Yeah, so I
struggle.
try to get rid of all that. The procedure is that the base map would have none of that crap on it.
Yeah, no, that I think that's got a lot of merit.
Yeah. Mind you, I didn't mind having the controls on the map because I just pulled them round to where I wanted them.
Oh, that's because you're using
yeah.
OCAD, but I was using this program, and I can
Yeah,
Well, it's
can
got
highlight them and
I've given,
delete
you've
them.
given you the controls there, so that
move them.
preview is no good. So how do we define? There's a define button in OCAD. I'm not sure how to do it on this. Can I see how to define?
it doesn't just print that automatically, does it? At that
No, I
size
just did a preview and it was in the wrong spot.
spot.
Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
okay.
Here we go. Not sure what I'm.
Mind you, you seem to have truckloads of pages there, so
I think we're at a different scale. Or those individual bits. Not sure what it's showing there.
it's a bit confusing,
A4
isn't it?
portrait. It needs to be landscape for a start, so we'll change that.
Where do you do that?
That'd be better.
Up
Now
there.
slide
Yeah.
up slide one of the pages up.
It's obviously something to do with this red thing. I think it's this white area, but it's obviously that seems to be much bigger than the area.
Much bigger than the map, yeah. So I'm trying it out on one I've got here on the screen. It is that red area.
The OCAD, the template is meant to be at 1 to 10,000 scale. So
Oh, now okay.
maybe I've got
Page
something wrong
format
with my
A4.
I've never actually used this template in Anger, so
Just try. Can you do center on print area?
yeah, that just puts it
Try that.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. What happens if you go to custom area? What else? What was in there? I've forgotten. Just over to the right, up.
Oh, single page. Maybe that's what you want.
I don't know. I just want to
The
know what's in
alternative to custom area is single page.
there. Page count, can you pull
There
that?
we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Single page.
Yeah.
God knows what that custom area is. I think you meant to drag the corners of a box or something.
Yeah.
So if we preview that, there we go. There's your event.
Okay.
Is that saved as a vector graphic then, or what?
This would be print as PDF or whatever format your printer is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so if you save it, it's better to save it as a vector graphic, isn't it? Isn't that like
Well, you're not
make it
actually
big or
saving.
small, the whole ratio?
Well, you're not actually saving much. You mean save the printout?
No, not save the printout. Save the actual template once you've done that.
You're not editing the template, Peter. You're just editing this thing. Sorry, but you're not editing the base map. You're just editing this stuff on top.
Shifting it around, basically.
Which is not particular. It can be vector or raster. It doesn't really matter that much for this sort of stuff. So I'm sure the printing, you're stuck with whatever printing format changes it does. But if it's a PDF printer, I'm sure it will put it in a sort of appropriate vector-based PDF format when it's printing it. So if you print to a PDF file, which I can do. Oh, it's gone to my printer. But,
you've got to print out of course with one control and two starts.
Yeah.
Finish.
Alternate starts.
PDF. I think there's actually
you can save it as a go over to the file. I think save to PDF, or you can go over to the file and do save as. I think PDF. I think
I've got a sort of standard PDF printer-y thing anyway, but
okay.
Now, save as is only offering open orienteering mapper or OCAD formats.
There's a PDF format.
Might be export to PDF, is it?
Yeah, export to PDF in the print option. Here we go. If we go and then look in We've got a myevent.pdf. There it is.
Yeah, okay.
So this looks like a really good alternative to the Swiss orienteering one. Is that right? I mean, everything is here.
Well, it's just an alternative. The Condes would give you similar things and maybe a bit more ability. So doing the text boxes and so forth, setting this up is a bit painful in OCAD or OOM. So Condes is probably a bit more flexible for just the core setting side of things. But this is an option.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how you can use Open Orienteering Mapper, which is completely free, unlike Condes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this always can improve as well, being open source. So hopefully it'll improve a bit better.
Well,
Yeah.
look, I just downloaded it.
Purple Pen, which Jeff was talking about,
Yeah.
is a open version of Condes.
Yes, I should get that as well.
Yeah, so there's sort of Condes / Purple Pen.
Mm.
There's Open Orienteering Mapper / OCAD, and then there's this Open Orienteering Map website, which we dealt with last week.
Yeah.
So there's three sort of separate approaches.
Like, look, I only got this today. Easy to download and install. How is this inferior to OCAD? It just looks exactly the same to me.
I don't know who says it's inferior.
Well, I don't.
I haven't heard that said.
I think it's sort of similar to an earlier OCAD, I think. And
Well, I can't
OCAD
see any difference between this and 9. Oh, I've got OCAD 9.
Yeah, no, I think later than 9. I think maybe OCAD 13 or something does something better. I don't know. I don't know whether it's better or worse.
Okay, but this just, to me, I'm, apart from the fact the tools and things look a bit different, it just looks exactly like a different version of OCAD 9. It just seems to have
pretty much what it is. Yeah,
all the same functions. The pair of scissors has red handles in this and has black handles in OCAD.
Same as OpenOffice and Microsoft Office.
No, OpenOffice looks more different to Office than this looks to OCAD, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
This, I haven't got OCAD on this computer, otherwise I'd put them up side by side, but I'm not seeing much difference.
No, I'd agree with you.
Yeah. In fact, this may, I'll try. I hadn't used it before today, and I'll try it out.
If you want to see how to do the cutting out, just look at. Oh, I haven't sent you this template, but I can send that.
Yeah,
we can make it. We can make an ARDF, or maybe
make an ARDF one. Yeah.
No, is not to do a separate one, but actually to have this box duplicated with an ARDF version.
Yeah.
When we're all using the same template, rather than so if we make a change.
Well, I wanted Dandenong Rangers symbol in it then.
Yeah, well, you do another one. So you just have multiples of this box, this event name box, which you're going to edit.
Yeah, and then you just put in.
I'm listening. I'm just looking at the calendar to see who I'm setting for next. The
ARDF group may make one available at a suitable cost, Mark.
The silly thing is the thing I've always had probably the most trouble with in OCAD. I could never work out how to get the ARDF club symbol into it. Just never worked.
Could do that, yeah.
So I try and.
It'll bring a few symbols in which are not used for core setting, and they're all to do with the template. So there's a few funny stuff out here, which is all to do with the background of the logo and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I've tried things
blue
like
that's part of a BK kangaroo thing. That blue there.
Oh yeah. And, but I've tried, for example, opening up an ARDF map, trying to copy
it across,
and it doesn't work.
It'll be because the symbols are different. So you've got to have the same symbol set from the original, or at least the symbols which include the logo, which are part of the logo in your destination. Yeah, the one you're copying to.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it won't work.
You can't do a straight copy and paste.
But
you can copy all the symbols across them and delete them until it doesn't work. Is one way of doing it.
I know. But
and that's probably what I'll do when I make
pages with ASCII files.
It's, well, yeah, I think it rapidly got to the stage where it was easier to print one, cut it out and glue it on before I photocopied it.
Oh, okay.
I've done that before today.
That took 20 seconds after battling with OCAD for half an hour.
I haven't gone
I think
out.
with this program, I was able to get the ARDF logo on it, but I had trouble removing all the other stuff from all the clubs. It was
I definitely had an ARDF logo because for one on the, I'll actually open this up as a base map.
Oh, look at that.
So that's the super duper Endeavour Greens. Now we'll just turn off the background for a moment. So that is, the bottom bit there is a bit, well, actually part of this, only part of this bit Adam mapped, and it was at a funny angle. And then I found BK had remapped that, and BK had mapped that for an enduro, just that middle bit, and this other map for something else. And so I thought the best way to, instead of just saying it's all BKs, or who cares about, is to say, okay, well, I'll just make a combined map, join it all up. So notice how the freeway changes color here.
Yes.
I've sort of merged it together as well as I can without doing too much editing. And this map here actually took the longest to geo-reference.
It's pretty detailed as a map.
Yeah, it's to get it to line up to that, and I'll show how to do that now.
Yeah.
So this has got an ARDF logo on it there.
Yes, I see that.
So that works. So I'll make a template. Oh, it's got an email template. That's interesting.
Well, it hurt you.
Including the ARDF logo, and I'll probably start. I didn't want to start duplicating the BK one until people had had a chance to use it, at least once in anger, because otherwise I'd have to start changing multiple clubs' templates if we got to change something basic. So I didn't want to, but I think the idea of having just that bit, that box duplicated across the top here for each club will solve that issue, and then the template becomes common to everyone. Because I think the only BK bits, there's a BK bit in there. There might be another. Oh, there's base-eye kangaroos, but you can make a separate one. It's just a copyright. All the other bits are common. I just copied all these text boxes from the Tuesday series. He had some standard templates, which is set up for, but he hadn't, all the boxes were inside, and he was just, which meant that you'd have to move the boxes around. He didn't have a movable idea. So it was just a square with all these names in it, and then you put a map in, and then you lose the top right part of a map, sort of thing. He didn't have it all movable boxes. So
which it has to be, because every map and course is different.
That's right. And so I thought, well, no, that's not going to work in general.
Hang on, something's happening with Ewan.
I was talking to Janelle.
Oh no, I saw all that.
Yeah, no, I've just muted myself because there's a bit of background noise.
Oh, sorry, I just saw you waving at something or I thought you were trying to get our attention.
No, Janelle just came in. She probably could have joined the meeting, as it turned out. So,
hi, Janelle.
Just explaining one or two things. No, she's disputed. I'm using headphones, so
no.
It'll be a bit hard to.
Yeah, you can pass it on later.
Just send me an email to send you the template, and I'll send you the current one. I don't want to go sending it out everywhere until necessary. But if you want to have a play, just let me know, and I'll send one out. Because I want to basically have it be used and tested before we start sending it everywhere. We've got old versions of a template flying around. But I can't see any real issue with it. We might be able to sort of rationalize some of these boxes. There's probably too many of them, I think. But now, let's go to an ARDF map. and we'll go for Dingley. Let's take its time again. And I'll show you how to georeference a map. Now, what's the latest one there? Probably the...
Yeah, I reckon it was about that time, 2005, last time we used it.
So I'm going to open it up initially. Ooh, horrible green thing. What does the other one look like?
Oh, I
That's what
remember,
they all
yeah,
used
I
to
think I
look
remember
like.
that.
They all used to look green like that. Then they come out
Yeah.
grey when you put them in black and white. Yeah.
This is why we can't have colour maps.
Yeah, can't open it.
No, I'm thinking
Alright.
of Bayside Park. That's
Too old or something.
Yeah, Dingley
Well,
Village. I'm thinking
I
of
think it's
Bayside
too
Park.
old. Because I think there's other stuff.
It says it's smoke-free. Did you guys smoke cigarettes in those days, did you?
Wouldn't have had to do that for
it was
sponsored
the
by the
NZ.
Anti-Cancer Council.
Yeah. It was a sponsorship thing.
That one's even got more area. I think Pam took hold of this and redid it, but I haven't got that back from Pam yet, which would be good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now,
It might have developed a bit since then too.
Yeah, I know. So
I think
it would be
there's a lot
good
of
to-
extra streets in there somehow.
I won't treat it. I'll just treat this exercise as a
Just
a how-to.
line up a couple.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, whilst I'm in the map itself, is delete all this crap. Done. And we don't want the north arrow anymore, or even the scale. Now we don't want those controls on there, that's for sure. Oops.
Now I know you're not using OCAD.
How do you know that?
Because this is happening in real time.
Might be quicker just to hide them, Bruce, at the moment.
Yeah. There's a way of specifying that you only...
Well, what I do in OCAD is I select all the symbols and make them uneditable, and then just make controls editable. Then you just select the whole map and hit delete.
Yeah. I'm nearly there.
Oh, actually, Open Orienteering map has a select all objects with this symbol.
Yes.
I don't think that's in OCAD. That's even better. You just do that and hit delete.
Where was that, Mark?
Okay, so point to the symbol, like
Select.
find the symbol for a control.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right click on it.
So I've clicked on it, so it should be highlighted over here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
next
it
to the
is.
5.
Highlight it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now right click
next to
on
the
that, select all objects with this symbol. And just hit delete. They're gone.
And
That's
then you
really
go to the
good.
numbers. And they
Yeah,
should
and
be
then just
able to
find
do
that. It's
that.
probably
Yeah,
sitting
good, Matt.
next to it.
All right.
Oh, beautiful.
No, that's actually something. I'm sure that's not in OCAD.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a
All
good
right.
one.
So is there any other crap we need to get rid of? Now, the other thing I'm going to do before we... Adam tended to do this. He set them... This is actually grid north.
Ah, not magnetic.
Yeah, so we'll just move that there. Then we'll select the whole caboodle. And just means you can fit less map on the screen. Doesn't matter about geo. It is not geo-reference, so it doesn't matter about any of that. Actually, we can.
I think you're meant to enter an angle.
Yeah, so we want to rotate it to the left, which is a positive number. So let's try a bit more. You can do it by doing a
What's the geo-referencing
full
reference?
rotate. But
Oh, okay, yeah, other point.
this is just guaranteed to rotate everything. Getting there, probably another degree or so.
Let's see what you're doing.
It's getting close to that, parallel to that line, isn't it? Doesn't need to be perfect. It's just.
I'm just looking at the top.
Another degree, do you reckon? Too far?
That's good at the top.
Tad too far. Half a degree.
Too far. Go back. Go back 0.5. There's no undo for this step, but it doesn't matter. You just rotate it back again. Notice that these things didn't
Go with
rotate.
It, yeah.
That's because they have a. Try rotating, but it may not work. No, you can't. So they tend to have a fixed always orient north. You've got to untick that. And then you can rotate it.
Okay.
Like that. And save this one. I think that's the same thing, so it's already done. Oop, too far. Looks all right. All right, so that's the map all prepared. Now, as part of the geo-referencing, especially if you're geo-referencing another clubs, you might want to just keep their symbol set. There's a general sort of move on to try and standardize the symbol set, but I won't treat that as part of this exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this map in OCAD format. And we'll just do this in the demo area for now. So not OMAT, we'll make it OCAD 9, and we'll call it Dingley. OCAD.
Isn't this Endeavour? Doesn't matter, but anyway.
No, it's Dingley.
Oh, I thought it was Endeavour.
No, Endeavour's that big one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that's right. You reopened another map.
Yeah.
Village.
Well, I know Endeavour's already geo-referenced, so there's not much of an exercise there. So I've never geo-referenced this one before. We've now saved the map. Now what I'm going to do is, oops, back in rotate mode, select the whole lot, and delete it. So now we've basically got an empty map with the symbol set that we want to end up with. So this is an error I made on the first time I geo-referenced. I just started off with the base symbol set, and some of the things got left off the map because it had some funny symbols it was using. So this is just a safe way of doing it. Then what we do is we bring in a template of that map. So now it looks exactly the same, except that the map is in fact nothing, and the template is what's been displayed. Then you note where you are. It's Lower Dandenong Road and Springvale Road. Oh yeah, and that corner there. All right, we know where we are. And we go to here, map share Vic, and I'm going to put that in the chat. So how do I go to the chat? There's a way of doing this. show grid. Ah, here it is. More chat. Chat there and put in that link. So this is the Geo-reference I'm using, which is free. So you agree to that thing there, and then you just simply zoom into Dingley. So Springwell Road, Hallam, Hampton Park, too far.
Way too far.
Yeah, way too far. Endeavour Hills.
Go down a bit
Oh,
and then across to the left.
yeah.
Keep going, Keysborough, keep going.
That bit there? No.
Oh, it's Keysborough, keep going. It's the next, after Keysborough.
Oh, it's Springvale Road. There it is. There it, we're right on the screen.
Dingley
There.
Village, there you go. Oh.
Yeah. So we'll zoom in on more. Now what it's doing is we're also going to set here, instead of lat long, we're going to set it to MGA 55, which is the UTM coordinates. Now see how it's filled in all the blocks?
Mhm.
That's important because the roads themselves aren't fantastically accurate, but the property boundaries are really accurate
All
on this
right.
map. So if you get the white bits between the properties, you're pretty safe. That's exactly where the road is. So we can just grab that bit, or we can go probably one zoom down. There's not much control over what you get here. So sometimes you need to bring in something which is a bit too big. Where's the triangle? That's it there, isn't it? It's still filling in the property boundaries. You've got to wait to it to do that. It's not particularly fast, this website. So yeah, don't forget to set MGA. There we go. So that's the square we want just there. Then you go to export, tools, export. You select, the easiest one is to use GeoTIFF, because then the geo-referencing stuff is embedded in the TIFF file, so you don't need to bother with
We're
world
just
files.
choosing PNG. Hang on. Oh, Geo, that's it.
TIFF. Yeah. Create an image.
GeoTIFF, was it?
Yeah, GeoTIFF.
Okay.
So this is what Peter Doward showed me, and then I sort of refined this method a bit. Oh, I get this sometimes.
Yeah.
You just got to.
Where did you set? I didn't see where you set MGA 55.
Down at the bottom here, where it says MGA 55. That's a selection. Oh, I've got to wait for it to finish exporting. Okay, and then when you go view image, it gives you the option of saving it, which you do. And that's it. Down here, Mark.
So that I can't see where.
Next to VicBack cartographical.
Yep.
There's a selection box.
Yeah, I can't see that. I can't see that on mine. I'm just seeing VicMac cartographical, Mapscape color, Mapscape
right, and then there's
grayscale.
Can you see an XY next to VicMac cartograph? There's a box of VicMac cartographical in it, and then next to it there's another box with a little blue.
Oh, okay,
blue
XY. Yeah, got it. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep. And then there's an X and Y, which is the actual Latin long.
Okay, no, sorry,
That's actually now the MGA 55 coordinates. So if it was in Latin long, it would be showing 37 and 145.
Yeah.
We'll put it in UTM. So basically, we're now looking at a slice through the Earth rather than across the sphere.
Yeah, I understand what it was. I just couldn't see how to set it. Yeah.
Okay, so we've now got that. We'll just leave that there and go back to OM. I notice there's what's this one here? Oh, that's the other one. That's obviously just a subset. So we'll get rid of that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we bring that in as a template as well. And within downloads, and there's export, that one there. You say, yes, it's geo-referenced, so there's nothing else to select on this screen. Now, important, you have to set UTM here, which is, and you've got 55 south coming up there, which is good. Nothing else we need to set here at this stage. I don't know why it's got 0. We'll just put 0 in there for now. And then go OK. Yes. Don't rotate the non-geo-reference template, because that will then rotate the Dingley map, which is another template. Okay. So now that is a very large Dingley map. Then you can change the order, so you can push that down in the stack like that.
Oh, over on the bottom right. Okay.
It's obviously the wrong scale for a start, and we're at an angle. That's okay. What was the best way to solve this? Yes, you can rotate. We need to make this flat to correspond to the map. So the way you do that is map, rotate, and we'll go around, always go around the geo-reference point once you've got geo-referencing, and then you turn off rotate non-geo-reference template. So all we're going to rotate here is the geo-reference template. And we want to rotate that about 7 degrees or so. It's looking fairly flat there now. I know it happens to be about 7.5 degrees in this part of the world, so that's why I've got it fairly close. We can also, if we select this, we can't move the template that around because it's geo-referenced, but we can move Dingley map around. So there's a move option there, and you can move that around. And you can also edit positioning. We can scale it. Whoops. Over here. So the X and Y is the position of this green box. So we'll put it there. But the scale is how big it is. So it looks like it needs to be about 5 times bigger.
Yeah.
So make 5 and X and Y bigger. Mm. Then we can make it a little bit opaque. You can see the other map underneath now. Yeah. Went too big, so we'll make it. And then you just had to dick around with these parameters. Okay, looks like we need to rotate the geo-reference another little bit. What do you reckon, about a 0.7 or something? Bit more. You've got to unfortunately untick all this stuff every time. It's getting pretty close. Now notice I could have rotated both the non-geo-reference template from the original OCAD as well as rotating the background image and align them up. But there seems to be a bug in Open Orienteering Mapper. But if we import this map from the template to the map and you have anything other than 0 degrees rotation, it does weird skewing things.
Right.
and skews the map such that it's bigger at one end and thinner at the other end. I don't know what it's doing, but we found that if you do find you have to rotate your template, the map template, just get it all matched up, note down the degrees you've rotated it, set it to 0, import the map, and then rotate it back again. Is a way around that, because if you import it at anything other than 0 degrees, it all goes haywire.
Yeah. Now, sorry, there's something like I understand everything you've done, but
Yeah, I haven't finished yet, but yeah.
No, well, just it's the principle though.
Yeah.
I must be missing something here. I thought the map you get from MapShare is the right orientation, and you should always rotate what you're trying to match to it.
No, we sort of come to the agreement.
Isn't MapShare
no,
pointing
MapShare
north?
is grid north. MapShare
Right.
is not magnetic north.
Okay,
So you want to rotate. So you want to rotate the declination at least, and then you need to subtract from the declination the difference between grid north and UTM north, which is back 3 degrees. So it's about 7.5 degrees is what you want to rotate.
Okay, but no, okay, like I take that point, but I'd have thought then don't you just apply that 7 point whatever degrees once, and then you say, all right, that's come from MapShare, it's oriented perfectly to magnetic north, therefore everything I do after this has to be with the Dingley map.
Yes, you can do that, but I have ended up rotating the bottom one about that amount within a degree.
Yeah.
But the reason I rotated the other one first is that if I do the next step with any rotation on the Dingley map, I have to do it, undo it, and then do it again once it's a map. It's just a bug.
So this is the bug. Okay, so you're doing it this way to get around the bug.
Yes, it helps.
Okay.
It makes it easy. If I can leave 0 in this number here and 0 in that number there, things go much nicer for you.
Okay. No, all right, that's fine.
And I happen to know that if with this flat and this vertical to the eye, it is very roughly magnetic north.
Right. Okay.
So the best thing to do is, if you've got a discrepancy between things, always try and line up the minor roads first rather than the major roads, because the major roads are easier to edit in bulk and you don't want to have to edit thousands of minor roads. Now, it looks like to me we could actually do a little bit of a shift left on the EVA map, but we'll rotate the geo-reference one because we can then leave that other number at 0. So it's probably only about 0.2 degrees, maybe even 0.1. We won't go too far. Untick that again. Yeah, maybe a tiny bit more. So you muck around like this for a while. And you can actually get it pretty close, which means that there's less work to do later on. I reckon we could probably go 0.2. Too far? Have I overcooked it?
Not really. That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. How are we doing over on the right here? Is the multiplication? It's pretty good. Oops. Put that back there. That's actually a pretty good result. There's a few of the roads which could do with some. See, that's got a little bit high there. We go to this move, it moves everything. Looks like it's a little bit tall to me, so we can bring the Y scale down a tiny bit. Yeah, maybe a tiny bit more. It's looking good. Does the X scale need to come in at all? No, it's pretty good actually. So this is not uncommon to end up with slightly different numbers there. Just because whatever the reference was originally used was probably a little bit skewed. That's actually looking remarkably good. Like there's a few funnies there. That cork there is just a little bit off. That's just a little bit off, but nothing which would be a problem really for map run. You can go and tweak these later. So at this point, you click on that and then you go edit, import and remove, and you don't scale it. And so now we've imported, the map file is now Dingley map. It's all selected, that's why it's all green. If we just look at that, I just highlighted. You just click over here somewhere. There's the map, and then you can make that transparent like that to see the thing underneath. Yeah, that all looks pretty good. Doesn't look like there's been anything wrong with the import. So at this point, you can turn off that, put that back up to 100%. Have we missed something along the line there? Oh no, it looks all right. Just hadn't zoomed in enough. Just looks a little bit spindly or something.
Yeah, the streets aren't
Like
as thick as what they were
like
before.
a wireframe view or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's gone to a different symbol or something weird. I haven't had this problem before. And also the road icons have gone very small. It's like it's scaled something. Oh, probably because when we multiplied it up, that's what it'll be. When normally it's about the same size when I've done this before. And so everything comes across correctly. But now, because I've had to multiply it up by 4 to get the right scale, it looks like I needed to multiply up the thing. So we'll dump this. And the easiest way to do that is just to delete what's here. Then we can reopen the template we had before. Where is the template? Why didn't it reopen? That's what we got to do. Then change the order again. All right, so it's still in the same spot where we want it. What we'll do this time is when we go edit, import and remove, scale by template scaling. Has that worked any better?
Not really.
No, not really. I wonder if the best way is to scale it a bit in the original OCAD map before you do this geo-referencing stage. Because it doesn't seem to have scaled all that well at all. What if it's changed the symbol? I don't know what it's done. I haven't had this problem before.
Can you click on something like a street and see what that was drawn with, and then boost up the?
Oh, manually for each one. Yeah,
no, not each street, but I think in general. I think you whatever the symbol is for a street.
Symbol is, yeah, you should be able to do this automatically. You shouldn't have
Yeah.
to muck around. It's obviously in a funny scale to start with.
It's only because you're magnifying its size, isn't it? That
Yes,
scaling
it
has
is.
changed.
Yes. So I thought I might try and resize it first. So we had it saved in. It is up there. Why is it letting me? Oh, because that one's called. Where's the Dingley which I was using as a template? Have I got? Is it done and auto saved over the top or something? Yeah, I think it's. Well, that's a trap. So when you I wonder if this auto save I can grab. Oh, is there a semicolon in there? Is it? No. What's wrong with it? Invalid data. I suspect
the underscore, is it?
an autosave is not an OCAD file. Okay, that's painful. I just tried to find the original clean Dingley, which I was actually sort of gone. Because this is now called Dingley.
Copy all files before starting.
Yes, that's a good idea. Well, I have actually copied it.
Yeah,
But I didn't copy the saved one, which I had saved with all the crap not in it. So that's useless.
Oh, maybe an auto saves in an OOM format. It's probably in. It's probably OOM OMAP format.
Well, I would. Oh, you're probably right. Yes.
Because you've got an OCAD extension on it, and it's.
Yeah. We'll just try that first.
Yeah, I mean it's logical.
Did he warn you that there was a change? You were changing it, changing the extension.
No, it's just Windows.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
That I can't answer.
Something's popping up and disappearing. I think it's not. It's obviously not seeing it as an OMAP file, so that's not working.
Well, it was just a thought.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be logical. It would auto save in its own format, but anyway.
Well, there it is. So it is still called Dingley. I haven't written over it. So this is our Dingley copy. So this is the one we want to rescale. How do we rescale this? It's because the current open map was called Dingley, so it's saying, oh, you've already opened it. That was why it was not opening it. Right, so we need to somehow, I haven't done this before, so.
Change map scale, I saw.
Yeah, change map scale, maybe.
Yes. So new scale, which 1 to 10,000 it says.
Scale symbol sizes. Scale map object positions.
It's 41 to 10,000, but it clearly wasn't.
No, there was nothing like it when you brought it in.
Yeah.
Unless it was there some option bringing
maybe
it
there's
in
an option
about
on import.
on import, yeah.
Yeah, it probably was. So what we'll do is we've still got the base map there. We'll import a template, but do it open template, and we'll bring in that one. There is no option there to do anything. Where is it? That's very exciting. What's going on there?
The funny thing was the roads were, the streets were very narrow, but those main highways hadn't changed their shape. Is that right?
Oh, the shapes were right. It was just the lines were too thin.
Yeah, yeah.
If you chose one of those on that
And it was
symbol
missing
there,
some of those things.
if you chose one of the streets and then go over and see what size.
This is a
it over
template, Jack. This is a template.
Yeah, okay.
It's not something I can choose. So obviously this is in the wrong spot now. This is different.
Yeah, it's not lined up.
It's different from last time. So you've got to move it. Oh, well, the easiest way to do it is go to Edit, Positioning. Where's the positioning box? Hello. I try to just get the positioning box back again. That little one which we obviously I've lost my template box now too. Where the template's gone. Ah. It says it's there. Ah. It's looking at the bottom. I don't know how to manipulate these. Oop.
There was something there saying 18 millimeter or 25 millimeter. I wonder what that was.
There's obviously a method of docking these boxes, which I'm not familiar with. Now I've undocked the symbols, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I don't know how to.
But you can see the templates thing again there.
Yeah, I know. There we go. We've got template. All right. That's.
It's actually good you can dock that stuff. I don't think you can do that in OCAD either.
How do we make this? We've probably got to make it smaller. And then dock it. Right.
Yeah.
Should be nothing in that. There's Dingley. Now, where's this? We'll do this view, show on map. Whoop, got this problem again. Right. I want to get that box. That box is gone on me. I don't know how to get it back. The positioning box.
Okay.
Is it hiding behind Zoom?
I don't know where it's hiding. If anyone can help, I don't know. I've lost it. I don't know how else to get it back other than close it. How do I get my windows back? Stupid thing.
Be back in a minute. I'll just get something to stop this squeaky chair. Oh,
Can of oil.
They're all symbols, by the way. Map, tools. No.
It's something to do with when you zoom in or out that the size changes. Is that right or not?
No, that's because I went show all map. But what I'm trying to do is get this box back so I can set the position of the Dingley map. It's obviously nowhere near where the two templates are hundreds of kilometres apart. So they're actually both on the screen, but they're too small to see.
Yeah.
And so going show whole map, you've got to turn off a template, like say that one. Then you can probably go view show whole map, and we get that back again.
Oh, there you go.
But the Dingley is nowhere to be seen, and so I want to get the positioning box back so I can go 0,0, which means it'll be on this screen.
Yeah.
But
otherwise, Dingley's in Sydney or something.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
I don't know how to get that box back.
Yeah. Okay.
Adjust. No. Never seen that one. Passports. Yeah, so there's the edit. Turn on the positioning box. Where is it?
Is it a recently used file area?
Reverting to desperation here. I've got two of them. Oops. Now, can we get our edit box back? Yes, there it is. So we can set these stupid numbers to 0. There it is. So it's still a funny scale. Nothing like 1 to 10,000. Oh God. Oh man, this automatic. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, you can put it in there, right? As long as you get it in the right spot. So why is that coming so tiny?
Well, okay. The only thing I can think is it something to do with the scale of the map
Of the
share
other
map.
Yeah.
that
which
rather
varies.
than trying to make Dingley bigger, you have to make that smaller or something. Yeah.
You can't change it. The Dingley one is kind of set. There's nothing. Yeah, this you can't.
No. When
the
you
map,
brought the map in
the-
from MapShare, you brought in this section of map from MapShare.
Yes. So
How
it's
did you?
geo-referencing. You can't
Yeah,
do
but
anything to it. Oh, when you
the
bring it in, you
size.
scale it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't had this problem with a street suddenly scaling like that on me before. It's just I have had multiplications of 3 and so forth, and that just
Yeah.
hasn't been a problem. I'm a little bit amused.
What happens if you actually print it out? Does it print out the streets in the right size or something stupid like that?
It's
I'd
nothing
have
to do
thought-
with the print scale. It said the actual map scale was 1 to 10. So I think Mark is right. We have to do that. It's just in this next step here. Maybe it's can't scale the symbols. It's going to scale by 399.
5%, yeah, because you got
Yeah, that's correct,
3.99 says, yeah.
What I do. Then if we look at that, and is everything it's missing stuff from the parks.
Yeah.
There's various bits
This-
of lettering and stuff. Well,
You
maybe
know,
we've just got to zoom in.
there
you
isn't any much information on the parks. I just had a look on that MapLink site, and the parks didn't really show much at all. No tracks in the parks, or very few.
Yeah.
Oh no, but that's not what we're trying to look at. This is the original OCAD map.
Oh, okay.
We don't really care about. We're only using that as a geo-reference.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought when you're after geo-references, it was getting very thin. That's all. I'm just saying that the other map didn't have any. When you said they were missing, I thought it might have taken them away when you geo-referenced.
No, I didn't care about what was on the Vic map. I just caring about what was on the. If we go back to the, compare this with that. There's sort of writing, and maybe that's the same. There just seems to be coloured stuff and so forth. It just seems to be more information there than there is on this one. Yeah,
like that little park up near the top, that little trapezoidal park, had writing in it. Oh, it has. It's tiny.
It's just tiny.
See,
it's scaled. It's everything that's scaled somehow.
So something's gone funny. This is like some symbols have scaled and some haven't, or something. It's weird.
Because all the writing, there must be somewhere, because the writing on the outside edge.
That's not bad.
That's better. How'd you fix that?
I just scaled all symbols by 400%.
400%, yeah.
That's fixed it.
So I'd say the import where it said to scale by 399.5%. Didn't work. That's my guess. Right. I just had to do that manually. So I just went symbol scale.
Oh, so it scaled, sort of scaled the map and where things are. It didn't scale the symbols.
Yeah,
possibly.
And it said
symbols are the original size.
And it said you could do that as an option, but just didn't seem to do it. So maybe it's another bug with the import.
Yeah,
but you can do it anyway. So there you go. So that's now a geo-referenced map. And then if you save it...
Now, just slowly, I have a lot of trouble seeing that because I've got things over the top of... You did something under edits. Oh, sorry.
To scale the symbols.
Rename. No.
Well, it was import and delete was called under edit. It's really the only other option other than positioning under edit.
Yeah.
I don't have an edit here anymore because it's So it's that one there. It's grayed out for the geo-reference one. Import and remove.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's over there. Yeah, all right.
So it's
How
under
did
this.
you rescale? What was the step for resizing it to 400% again, Bruce?
Symbols, scale all symbols. And I just put
Okay.
a 4 instead of a 100.
Yeah.
And up it came. So that looks quite good. I've never had to do that before, so your mileage may vary.
Yeah, learned something.
So now we've got the original symbol set which Adam had, so ARDF logos and stuff will stay intact. If you're standardizing symbol sets, that will be something else you do as a separate pass, but that's how you geo-reference. Then when you save it, you probably save it in OCAD 9 format again, or OMAP format. OCAD 9 is a minimum which will save sensible geo-referencing information.
Okay.
OCAD 8 will not.
What about 10, 11, and 12?
Yeah, they're all fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem with those is no one has the OCAD software that can open them.
Well,
yeah,
Jeff
except
does,
for
but-
Jeff has got it. Well,
Except for Jeff,
Stills,
but no one
yeah.
else. No one else in an orienteering club will have beyond 9.
Okay, beyond
because
9.
it's
Okay,
stupidly
understand. Yeah.
expensive.
So then we can just open up Imicolo. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. So you probably get rid of this horrible green background. Well, I actually prefer the method with, as Jeff does, the OOMAP standard of white as a background.
Yeah, you just got to
It
convince
uses a
the
whole-
OV committee.
Over on the
Yeah,
toner.
it uses a whole lot less toner, and then you can you can make highlight the bits which are important. Like if you're having a short track which goes through here, at the moment you'd have to relieve either side of that so that you can see the track if it's black on grey.
Yeah.
Rather on a black and white version, but if it's on white, it will stand out, and you don't need to do other things to it. So I much prefer that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's tradition. But I think we'll just start doing it, and hopefully they'll stop whinging after a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was how to put controls on using Open Orienteering Mapper and how to geo-reference a map.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah, yeah.
involved.
All
Which is
good.
important to do. So the other thing you could do is, now that you've got this up, you could bring in a template again, which was that thing. And then you could edit some of the roads. So say this one here, you can see how that could do with a little bit of movement. We just click on it.
Yeah.
Move that down to there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Move the blob.
Move the dot. Yeah.
Done.
But in fact, those are the best ones to do, because with map run, if the control's at the end of a court and it's not in the right place, that's actually troublesome.
Yes.
If you're running along the road and you hit it a little bit sooner or later, it's not such a big deal. But you can't run into private property if you realise the
yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
circle's in the
It's
wrong
on someone's
place.
front lawn.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth fixing these ones up.
Yeah. So although they seem trivial, actually things like that chord, they're probably some of the most important to get right.
Yeah. Most of it, like this isn't too bad. It's a bit funny there.
Yeah.
Move that blob to there. Shorten that one a bit.
Probably if you're course setting for map run 2, you should think about a few of those sort of things a bit and perhaps put the control somewhere else, a little bit down the court or something.
If you've got a well geo-referenced map, it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, I know there's a guideline about not putting controls at the end of courts.
That road's way too long. What's going on?
Yes. Yeah. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, Ewan.
So if you put it at the end of that road, you would have been in trouble there.
Yeah.
But Bruce, when you're lining things up, like when you're putting the aligning the green template over the map,
Yes.
so you can geo-reference it.
Yeah.
That has plus or minus errors in it a bit because it's just eyesight. You know, like is there no way that you can have a?
There's no perfect solution, but what I tended to concentrate is getting most of the smaller roads looking close.
Yeah.
Because what you want to minimise the amount of this editing effort.
Yeah.
To move
exactly.
whole new big road around the outside is easy, but to edit thousands of little roads is painful. So you're better off to
Do you only have to do this where there are actually controls? Does it matter if it's slightly off in a place that doesn't have controls? Or are we doing this for not only your event but everyone's event?
This will be once this is done. Yeah, once this is done, everyone can use it. Once this is geo-referenced, everyone can use it and set a course.
So is it possible to walk the event and sort of locate the controls at a certain point?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Loris does that.
Loris does it. She uses a program which Jeff wrote, which basically creates that KML file of the controls from. He presses a button at the various locations. It creates the
coordinates
KML file.
Yeah, which is fine as long as she agrees with the bench you said it was on as the one she thinks it's on.
Yes. Yeah. So I won't carry on editing this because Pam's probably updated it.
Yeah.
So that's how you geo-reference the map.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good. Yeah.
And at this sort of scale, it looks fine, but when you zoom in a bit, going, it's a bit. And so it's just worth checking over the whole map. You can move this curve out a bit. And basically, it's fairly easy to work out what these curve things are doing just by playing around with them. So the length of them determines how far the curve goes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can move the origin.
They vary quite a bit depending who drew the map and how they did it.
Yeah.
There's been a few where I've actually removed quite a few points off they put like 20 points along a road and you realise you could do it with 4.
Yes. But this is actually a good way of learning how to use it without, learning from scratch.
Yeah.
You're editing something which is already there, which is why I think it's probably easier to start off with something from OSM, whatever map you're making.
Right.
Either start off with an existing OCAD map or something from OSM as an import, as an actual map file, not just a template, the actual map file with created roads and stuff. This one's off.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I don't know. That one's
Yep.
well. Yeah, so you can see there's some inaccuracies in this map, which are easily fixable. And it probably only takes half an hour of fiddling around. You've got a very well geo-referenced map. Yeah?
So if you're wanting to make an ARDF map for, say, Candlebark, now what's the big park there? The two together?
Westerfold.
Westerfold.
Oh, Westerfold.
So there already is a Westerfolds map. So we won't go about creating a map for Westerfolds because there is one. So why start from scratch?
Oh, no, but just say you were going to make one, you would use it, you'd run the course and then put it into MapRun that way. Is that the best way for a big bushy area?
If it's a bushy area, now I've done this with OOMap, with Deakin Uni. So if you were to look underneath the purple stuff which I put all over the map to hide the controls, if you were able to see that map, you would have seen it was a a map from OOMap, not the map which I gave you to print out. So the map I gave you to print out was a proper sprint map from Jeff. Whereas the map which I put into MapRun was OOMap, and that was because it's so easy in OOMap to generate the KML and the KMZ file.
Right.
Yeah. They're already and you just push the two buttons and bang, it works. And it's perfectly geo-referenced.
As I remember, it's like a satellite map.
Yeah, if you're in a bushy area, it's very easy to put controls on the streets and say, I'm going to put the control at this street corner, and you make sure the dots on the right corner where you're going to put the control, and that'll be right, and MapRun will beat there. But if you're putting out Foxhole controls and you've hidden it in I'll go to this bushy tree here, and you put it in there, that's very hard to actually see on the OO map where to put your control point.
Yeah.
So what I did is I put the controls roughly where I thought I was going to put them. And then when I was actually at the location, I just used a GPS program on my phone to say, save the Latin long.
Yeah.
Then when I exported the XML file from OOMap, I then just edited it manually in an editor to change the Latin long.
Oh, okay.
Correct. Okay.
And that's what, so it's sort of like what Jeff's doing, but a bit more manually. But there's only five.
Only five controls, so it's not hard. Yeah.
So when you
so the question you're asking, Peter, is for a bushy area like Westerfolds, if you're setting an ARDF event, I'd be tempted to use some sort of GPS to say, I put the control here. This is a Latin long. But if you're setting a street
using the streets,
I'd use OOMap to put the controls in, even if you're not using it as the map you're going to give out to people.
Because the points will be accurate.
Yes.
So when you look at the map,
even though I've got this geo-reference map, to actually create a KMZ file from this file is quite complicated. I have to export a JPEG and a JGW file, I think, and then you have to use some other sort of utility to create a KMZ file. Or what we could do is you could create it probably manually by looking at the format of the files inside an existing KML file and figuring it out. But, the only other thing so it's horses for courses. So when you were trying to use OOMap to set on that sprint map, Peter, that's probably not what they're looking for. They want the controls on the sprint map. And so therefore you'd be doing something analogous to what we were doing tonight, where you're honking controls.
Yeah, no, I just been playing around with it, and I had that square, and I thought, you just take the square and use that, and everything is redundant.
Yeah, well, that's more for creating a street map, or there's two uses for OOMap as far as I see. One is creating a street map which people are actually going to use. I don't see a problem with that. And the other is just using it for MapRun, which is quite a nice, easy way to get the two files you need for MapRun. I mean, it's quite acceptable to take this with control points put on it and send that through to Warwick, and then they will go through. But I think they can generate a KNZ file from OCAD 12 and 13 or something. So if he's got a very high level, expensive OCAD, he can generate a KMZ file from that. But for KMLs, I think he's still doing it manually. He's probably overlaying Google Earth on top of the Streeto map. And as long as it's geo-referencing, but he's probably putting in each of the points onto the Google map. Then,
I didn't ask him how he was doing it. Last night he walked to the car with me with my phone and checked that I had MapRun F, and then that actually got green at the bottom, and that it actually got the the satellite GPS satellite link, and then walked me to the gate, make sure it buzzed.
Yeah.
But
it was a bit,
I like the system.
But that was a bit strange because mine was showing red, and I proved to him that I had 32 satellites and 4-meter accuracy.
Yeah, mine was showing red for the dot, and I just moved the dot to the start, and it went beep. So,
yeah. So anyway, Yeah. There's something a little bit
looks
strange
a really
in
good
there.
idea to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Oh, look, we're going to have to be doing that a lot more, at least over the next few months.
Now I could
Can't
show
see
you how to bring in a geo-referenced OO map into Open Orienteering Mapper. The only point I can see of actually doing that is if you want to use one of these templates to put other stuff on put all this stuff onto a OO map.
I see.
So
Yep.
the way you do that is you open a template again, and I happen to have saved the maps.
Oh, from last week, yeah.
So even we can use it, but that's a high res one which I use GIMP to generate from a PDF file, so it's a nice version of Jack's one. Or you can use this one which has got the controls on it. So it depends if you want to use the template to put the controls on or want to use the OO map controls as they are. Let's just choose this one for the time being. So that's the one which came out of OO map. If I select this and specify geo-reference for world file, it'll look in the same spot where I'm getting a JPEG from for a JGW file.
Right.
And if it finds one, it'll use it, and then you need to use by EPSG code. And I just say, because I got the message directly from Mr. Ollie himself in the UK, because I had problems with this. And it's ESPG 3857. So I will put
also known as ESPG 900913.
Yeah, that other number didn't work, so that's okay. So what was it? E3857 in there.
Sounds like Get Smart.
And it says valid.
Yep.
And then you go okay, and you can rotate it to get it to magnetic north, because he said they're a grid north map.
Right.
So we can do that at the same time. Yes. Referenced, yes. Oh, I think it's going to make this. Ugh. No, cancel that. It's gone and rotated all that crap. And undo it. Ugh.
Can't you rotate it back 7 degrees?
Yeah, okay. It's just, I don't know why it's select all that. Yeah. All right. We'll open a template again. I don't think I will try rotating it this time. I've got the wrong template coordination. And why is it so small?
Did you put in those numbers again? Or did you just use 1000? I wasn't looking. It was.
It just took it. I didn't have to put them in again.
Okay.
And it's because it's somewhere nearby. That just looks too small. I wonder why it's so small. So that is geo-referenced. So you can't change that size. Okay, I haven't tried this before. I have actually imported one before and it worked.
Maybe it doesn't work properly unless you have that JGW file.
It did. You've got the JDW, and that's why it's geo-referenced.
Okay.
But I just worried about the scaling.
Yeah.
Why is it so bloody small?
Well, we know that area. That's a big area. That's Norton's Park, isn't it? So, yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, but
Norton's
hang on.
It's way north
we did it at 1 to 5,000, didn't we?
Can't
So it's
remember.
even smaller than I expect. I would.
No, it should be.
No, it is. It
1 to
is
5.
correct. It is. It's brought it in correctly because we've got a 1 to 10,000 template. This is correct. So if you rotate that 90 degrees to get the other template size, it'll be roughly half the size it needs to be.
Oh, okay.
And the reason is because we did it out of OOMAP at 1 to 5,000. So if you've done a map out of OOMAP to 1 to 10,000, it should fill that square exactly.
Okay.
So it's actually
okay. You need the portrait one though.
Yeah, I've got the wrong template, but
yeah,
you actually need a 1 to 5,000 portrait template.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
To do this map.
Yeah.
But then you could move this stuff over top of there, for instance, blank out. Or whatever you like.
Yeah.
So you could make a OO map into a valid street O map using that mechanism.
Yeah. Except the out of bounds is white.
Yes,
we discussed.
correct.
Yeah.
All right, that was the only other thing. Just that ESPG thing, just as a trick. It's different.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all.
Very good, Bruce.
All to show you tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see.
thanks. That's very
Stop
good.
recording.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Stop
Now to try it
recording.
out a bit.
Okay. Pause.
Okay.